So the next thing we're going to talk about is that we can classify and discuss polynomials. I'll show you what that is in a sec. Polynomials in two ways. Okay. Now, I'm not defining polynomial because it's kind of silly to define it. You're going to see a lot of examples in a second. I'll see. So basically, when we're talking about a polynomial, we can talk about the number of terms that it has. Okay, this is one way that we can talk about a long expression. Okay, so it can have one term, it can have two terms, it can have three terms. Okay, it can have more terms, right? Like it can have more. Often it doesn't. So let's just talk about this so you can get an example. So 3 terms is called a tri. You've seen this prefix before, tri, like tricycle, right? It means 3. Triangle, this means 3. So a trinomial has 3 terms. That means it looks something like this. Maybe like 4x squared plus 5x minus 7. Okay, notice there are 3 terms. That is a trinomial, right? There are 3 things that are being added or subtracted together. Okay, 2 terms. This means 2, like bicycle. Okay, bi means 2. Okay, binomial might look something like this. Right, it has 2 terms, 1, 2, being added together. Okay, a monomial has 1 term. So that's kind of like the one that we saw above. That was a monomial, right? There was no addition or subtraction. Okay, and then after this, we don't have like a special name for it. We'll just say like, oh, it has 4 terms, or it has 5 terms. We don't have like a special name. Like if I see this, I'm like, oh, it's a binomial. But if I see something like this, I would just say, oh, that has 4 terms. Okay. And then the other way that we talk about, so these are all polynomials, right? These are all just numbers and variables, all smashed together, right? Some exponents in there. The other way that we talk about these polynomials are by what's called degree. Okay, now a degree is the highest exponent on a variable. Or you could say of highest exponent on a variable. Okay, we'll take a look at what that means, right? You can have a degree of 0, you can have a degree of 1, degree of 2, degree of 3, and it goes higher than this, okay? But these are the ones that we kind of have like special names for. And here's the thing, I'm going to put these names in parentheses because I don't really care that you know them, but it's kind of nice to know them, and you'll hear me use the words. So like a degree of 2 is quadratic. This is the one that we've already talked about, right? So if I see something like this, what's the highest exponent here? Well, this 2. The highest exponent is 2, therefore the degree is 2, and therefore we call this quadratic. If the highest exponent is 3, we call it cubic. So let's say, for example, I had something like this. What's the highest exponent here? Well, it's a 3. So that means this binomial is cubic. Okay? And then if the degree is 1, that's called linear. And the reason is, if the degree is 1, it's something like this, where the highest exponent is exponent of 1 right here, right? And if we remember, y equals 3x minus 7 is the kind of lines we graphed, and they were straight lines. We did this first semester. So this is called linear. Okay, and then finally, a degree of 0. What does this look like? It's called constant. And here's why, because a degree of 0 looks like that. There, look, this has a degree of 0. How does that make sense? How is that 0 the highest exponent on the variable? Because look, this is the same as this 5. Just 5 is the same as this. 5x to the 0 power. Okay, because remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So this x to the 0 power is 1, and 5 times 1, and 5 times 1 is just 5. Negative 5 times 1 is just negative 5. Okay, so These are the two ways that we talk about polynomials. So we talk about the number of terms they have, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, 1, 2, 3 terms, 1, 2 terms, 1 term. And we talk about the highest exponent, right? Here it's 1, here it's 2, here it's 3. So if I see something like this, I can describe it in two ways. I can say, okay, this is a binomial. It has 2 terms. This has 2 terms, and the degree is 2, right? So I could say it has 2 terms, and the degree is 2. So I could even say this is called a quadratic binomial. If I have something like this, what would that be? It has, let's check the degree first. The highest exponent is 3. That makes it cubic. And it has 1, 2, 3 terms. That's a trinomial. Right, if I had something like this, here the highest exponent is 2, so the degree is 2. The number of terms is 3, right? This would be a quadratic trinomial. Okay, so here these aren't necessarily words that we need you to memorize so much as we want you to be able to look at something like this and recognize, okay, the highest exponent is 4, there's 4 terms here, and really be able to just kind of see the different pieces of these. So more important than these specific words, which you'll just reference in your notes as you need them, is for you to be able to observe the different characteristics of these longer expressions.